Hello, everyone. Good morning or good evening.
Yeah, good morning.
So, shall we? So, let's continue with our Linux module. Yesterday, we had introduction to Linux, and I think by this time, you should know what are the features of Linux operating system and why we need Linux operating system. What will be your roles and responsibilities with respect to DevOps using Linux, right? And also, yesterday, I was expecting you to create an account, right? Like free tier account. Was that completed?
Yeah,
Yes.
All right. So if you're able to log into your Linux machine, that I mean, able to access your AWS console, that should be good because today we are going to create an instance and then we'll be working on your Linux commands because ultimately we need to practice Linux commands and all these features of Linux. To practice this, we need a lab environment. We need a computing environment. So just for that reason, we were using our AWS platform, nothing else. Apart from that, we are not going to manage any AWS resources using Linux here. Correct. So first we'll see how to launch an EC2 instance. We'll see how to connect to the instance and access it. Listen carefully. So launching the instance, for that you need to log into your AWS console as a root user. That we will do. And once you launch, I mean, once you access your console, you can able to use your EC2 instance service to create your VM. Now, assume that the VM has been created. You have one VM available. How to connect to that VM? Here, the VM means an EC2 instance, right? So how we can able to connect to that EC2 instance? That is the point. So we'll be using our SSH connection methods. So there are various methods to access your EC2 instance. The first method is you can use your EC2 instance connect. Console. So through the AWS console itself, you can able to use EC2 instance connect option to connect to your EC2 instance. First point. And the second point means you can able to use some SSH agents. Using SSH agent also, we can able to connect to our instance. Agent means it can be your putty or it can be a mobile external, right? So agent means it is just a small piece of software that you will be installing it on your Windows machine. And through that software, we can interact or connect to your remote servers. So this has to be installed. Local machine and access it through that. And the third method is by using any terminal. For example, consider I'm a Windows user. I have my local Windows machine. From my Windows machine, if I want to connect to my remote server, I can install this SSH agent because SSH agent will provide you some additional benefits. It is very user friendly when compared to terminals. That is the reason Windows users might prefer this SSH agent. It can be mobile external putty. I'll talk about this in detail. But apart from that, if you are a Linux user, already if your base machine is Linux or if you're using a Mac machine, you cannot use this mobile external. So what you can do, you can use your terminal itself. Terminal means like in Windows also we have something called command prompt, right? Or we have a terminal. right? This terminal window. So using this itself, you can able to interact with your remote server. So there are three methods to connect to your remote server. Easy. So people who are completely new to this SSH agent, I'll show you how to install and configure this. And going forward, all my demo, everything, I'm going to connect using MobileStump. Okay, this is very user friendly when compared to Putty. All right. Now, another important thing is, in order to establish the SSH connection, what are the parameters required?
Public IP address.
Remote server using SSH. So please remember these points, because if you miss any of this parameter, your connection will not be successful. So whenever you try to connect to your remote server, you should know the remote server host name. Correct. This is the very first parameter. To which server you're going to connect, that server's name should be there. So it can be your DNS name or it can be the IP address of the machine. Any identity is required to access that server. First point. And second point is through which user you want to log in. Like for example, if I want to connect to one machine, I should have access to the machine, right? So you need to provide the username, correct? And then the key, private key. So these are three important parameters that is required to connect and access your remote server. What does this private key means? Like yesterday itself, I was talking about the instance creation process. We'll be using the key pairs, right? Which provides public and private key. Out of that, you'll be using a private key to access your server. Easy. So I'll show you all those things with the demo. Please pay attention. And before that, do you guys have any question on these terminologies or any other things? So point is very simple. I'm going to create one remote server. To connect to the remote server, I'm going to use this SSH protocol. To use this SSH connection, I need these three parameters: the host name, username, and the authentication key. And there are three methods to connect to your remote server. One is your EC2 instance connect option using SSH agent or using terminal. Simple as that. Right. See? So shall we proceed now? Now let's see how to launch this. Hope the notes are useful, right? The notes, whatever I'm sharing uh, off offline,
Yes,
when
sir.
you go through the notes, are you able to understand the flow?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
All right. So let's get into our AWS console. So I'm going to log into this machine. Sorry. And I'll be logging into this machine as a root user. Okay, account level root user. This is my root user email ID and the password. And I have configured multi-factor authentication for more secured connection. Okay, so let me enter my uh, MFA code. Just with the Google Authenticator, you can able to set up this multi-factor authentication in your mobile device. So now that we get into our AWS console, we are on this home page actually. So before you launch a node, ensure that the region is related to your current location. So I chose Mumbai as my current location is AP South 1. Within this, my VM will get allocated. So on the search bar, type EC2 instance. See here, there is a service, EC2 service. Click on that. It will take you to your dashboard. It will take you to your dashboard. Saran, from which location you are accessing? Where are you now currently? Then choose the location nearest to you. I am accessing from India, so I can see Mumbai region. But check the region nearest to you and use that. I told you it should be the nearest location, right? Just because I'm using Mumbai, everyone should not choose Mumbai, okay? The region should be nearest to your current location. Is it clear? Now, let me get into this dashboard. So in this EC2 instance dashboard, you can able to see the various resources associated to EC2 instance. Like you can able to create the instance, you can able to manage instances, AMIs, volumes, security groups, all those things are there. But our focus is to create an EC2 instance, right? Launch an EC2 instance. So to launch an EC2 instance, first step, log into AWS console. And from there, you can go to EC2 instance dashboard. And from there, you can select launch EC2 instance. That's it. So now I just logged into console and I am on this EC2 instance dashboard. From here, I can see there is an option called launch instance. And once the instance is launched, you can able to see the list of instances that are up and running or all the created instances you can able to filter out here. But for the very first time, click on this launch instance button. It will take you to your launch instance page. So it is a kind of a GUI based interface, just like a form filling activity. We are going to enter all the required parameters to launch a VM. So yesterday I was giving you the parameters, right, to create an EC2 instance. These are things. So to create any EC2 instance, there are some parameters required. Okay. So from this launch panel, you can just key in the required parameters to create EC2 instance. So first parameter here is the name, right? Name or tag. So this is just for our reference. Okay. In future, you'll be creating a number of EC2 instance. So if you assign a name or a tag to that instance, it'll be easy for you to recognize that server. So I just tag it as Jan 30. Linux server. I can prefix u. So because I want to create one Ubuntu server, that's the point. So I want to create one Linux server and I just tag it. And this name, it can be anything as per your choice. As per your company's policy or process, you can able to give your name. There are some naming conventions also at enterprise level. Now, once you assign the name of that resource, you are going to choose the AMI. What is the purpose of AMI here? It is to identify the type of operating system which you're going to use to launch your VM, right? It is just like a template. So from here itself, you can see the description, okay? Like what is it actually? It is a template that contains a software configuration like your OS and other services which are required to launch your instance. So if your intention is to create your Ubuntu machine or Windows machine or Red Hat or Amazon Linux, you can able to choose the available AMI. Or in future at enterprise level, you can create your own AMI also as per your custom requirement. Okay, so for now, we are going to choose the existing template, that is Ubuntu. And Ubuntu, the latest version is 24.04 LTS, long-term support. It is eligible for free tier. And the previous version is 22.04 version. That is also eligible for free tier. So while choosing the AMI, ensure that the version which you're going to choose should be eligible for free tier. Apart from that, if you choose any other version, it is considered as a paid entity. And you can see the pricing details also, how much they're going to charge, everything. So in our case, we are going to choose Ubuntu 22.04 version. It is just a previous version of Ubuntu. And while launching any node or choosing any software package, right, in real-time environment, we always recommend to have just a previous version of the package. We always want to consider a stable version. So instead of picking up the latest version, it is recommended to pick up the previous version. So as a best practice, I am just choosing this. And if you want, you can start with your latest version also, doesn't matter. Now, we have chosen Ubuntu 20.04 version as a AMI, right? Let me just have it here. Now, once the AMI is identified, you need to choose the instance type. That instance type is used to define your CPU and RAM requirement, like how much RAM you need, how much CPU you need. That will be defined with the help of your instance type. For example, I want to create a VM, how much RAM I need, whether I want to configure with 4 GB RAM or 2 GB RAM, right? So that is decided by the instance type. Here we have T2 micro as one instance type, and which comes with one CPU and 1 GB RAM, which is eligible for free tier. Apart from that, we have other types of instance as well. Like we can have T2 small, T2 medium, T2 large. Like T2 medium means it comes with two CPUs and 4 GB RAM. T2 large means you'll get 8 GB RAM. Like that, depends upon your business requirement. You can able to choose that package. All right. Any question?
No.
No, no,
Yeah. So yes. So since we are using a free tier account, you can use your free tier eligible instance type T2 micro. That's sufficient for now. All right. And then the key pair. So key pair is something used to secure, used to securely connect to your EC2 instance. Okay. So choose this key pair. It is used to securely connect to your EC2 instance. So for the very first time, you can create a key pair and use a key pair for all your instances. All right. So if you're doing it for the very first time here, get into this tab and click on this create new key pair option. Listen carefully. When you click on this create new key pair, it will expect you to enter the key pair name. So I can simply say like Jan 30, any key pair. Okay. And leave all the parameters the default. Let it be the RSA type and the private key file format. Let it be say initial things. Our intention is not to learn about AWS cloud platform. Our intention is just to launch a VM. So tomorrow, once you get into your AWS modules, you'll be learning about all these things again in detail. This is just a process of launching a VM. So just give the name of the key and leave all the parameters default and click on create key pair. Once you create key pair, right, you can see one file has been downloaded here. It is saved as .pem file, right? So once you create key pair, so which gets downloaded, one PEM file. So this PEM file is what the private key that you have to enter as a token for authentication. Easy. I repeat, click on this new key pair, enter the name of the key pair and leave all the parameters as default and click on create key pair. It will download one PM file and the key name, whatever you created, it is available in your drop down here. You can choose the key pair. Or if you want to choose any other key pair also, you can able to choose it. That doesn't matter. This is what we usually do. We never create a key pair for each and every VM. Just create it once and use it for all your VMs. That doesn't matter. Easy. Any question? That's it. So these are three important parameters we need to use while launching the node. And apart from, there are some parameters related to network, security, volumes, and all. Like if you can see here, we have network settings, and we have something called configure storage settings, and some advanced details and all. That is not required at this point of time. Just leave all these things as a default parameter now. Maybe tomorrow, once you start with the AWS module, you'll be learning about that in detail. Easy. And this left side, you can right side, you can see the number of instances. I'm going to create one instance now. If you say 2, based upon this configuration, it will launch 2 VMs. All right, so let it be 1 for now. And the summary of this resource allocation. So we are going to use a free tier account, and it is of T2 micro. And you can see there are 750 hours of T2 micro instance is reserved for you. So it means when you launch a VM, you can able to run that VM for 750 hours per month. Got it? You can able to run that VM 750 hours per month. If it exceeds that limit, you'll be charged for it. Easy? Let's say, for example, if you are creating 10 VMs for that particular month, what will be your usage? So all 10 VMs can able to run for
150 hours.
750 hours.
75 hours.
750 hours.
75 hours, because we are launching 10 VMs, right? It is not like for each VM you can have 750 hours. For that particular month, how many VMs you are creating, you can able to run those VMs continuously for 750 hours. That's what it means. It is not like for each and every VM they are giving you 750 hours. It's not like that. So please be clear with the difference. If you have created 10 VMs here, means all these 10 VMs, if you want, keep it up and running. But if it exceeds 75 hours, you'll be charged for it. So please be clear while using the resource. And it is always recommended to stop the instance if the instance are not in use. Or if you think that instance is no longer required, simply go and terminate the instance to save your billing. Easy? Any question? Any question on these parameters?
No.
No.
Before it is showing 83 ARM, it's all architecture, system architecture actually. Whether you're using your 32-bit architecture or 64-bit architecture, right? So architecture of that system is what the parameters you can see there. Fine. So that's it. So with all these parameters like name, AMI, instance type, and T2, key pair. Key pair, I am using the existing one which I have earlier. From this dropdown, you can choose it. and ensure that you give one number of server and click on launch instance. Guys, I'm going very step by step, okay, in a very granular manner. So please try to observe the things and understand it properly. If you're unable to understand, let me know right away. Don't keep till the end of the session. Now, you can see successfully it has initialized a node. Let's go back to our EC2 instance dashboard. From this dashboard, there is an option to get the list of EC2 instances that are up and running. So click on this. So you can see the instance which we just launched, it is available here, right? And once the instance is launched, you can able to access it from this instance list catalog. And you can see any resource you create on your EC2 or AWS platform or any cloud platform, it will be allocated with one unique ID. This is something assigned by AWS for all its resources. This is the tag which we assigned, and this is the ID that is uniquely assigned by AWS. This is the instance ID. And the status is, it is running state, and instance type is T2 micro. Like this, it is having all the additional parameters to describe the properties of that VM. And if you scroll down, after selecting this VM using checkbox, if you scroll down, you can see some additional properties here. Right? The details of the server, starting from instance ID, host name, your VPC, subnets here. VPC and all, we haven't chosen it, taking the default values, subnet, everything. So very important thing to consider here is any any instance you create, it will be allocated with a public IP address and a private IP address. There are two things, public IP and private IP. So what is the need for public IP means? It is used to access your server from a remote network. For example, this particular VM, it is running in a Mumbai region. It is in the data center, it is up and running. I want to access this server from my local machine, right? So how we can able to establish a communication between these two means by using the public IP address of this machine. So this public IP is what my host name, I'll be considering it here. Remember, I said there are three parameters, right? So the public IP will be the first parameter you can consider. Okay. And another important thing is the private key. The private key also, it is generated for any node you create, and it is something used to establish a communication with that server within the network. If the access is within the same network, you can use your private IP address. Say, for example, tomorrow I might create one more VM, right? I can create one more VM here, correct? And if I want to establish the communication between these two VMs, I can use a private IP address because both are running in the same network. So if you want to enable the communication between the servers which are within the network, you can use a private IP address. And if it is from external network, you can use your public IP address. This is a basic. Now, another important thing is this public IP will change whenever you restart your machine. Since we are using a free tier account, we have not allocated any constant IP address to your VM. It cannot be constant one. It changes whenever you restart your machine. So in real-time environment at enterprise level, we can able to set up some elastic IP address or static IP address for that. So using that static IP address, we can able to handle it. But in your free tier account, it is just a public IP address. You see? So point here is whenever you stop and start your server, come to this page and pick up the latest public IP assigned to that node. All right. Now, how to start or stop this server? As I said, whenever the instances are not in use, you can simply go ahead and stop the instance, right? So select the instance from this list, and on top, you can see there is something called instance state. Can you see this? From here, if you can see, there is an option to stop the instance. There is an option to restart or terminate. If you stop means it just stop the instance at any point of time, you can come and restart it. It's possible. The software, the package, whatever you install, it can be used even when you stop and restart. But when you say terminate, it is a permanent deletion of the resource. You won't get it back. Correct? So if you think that resource is no longer required, you can simply go and delete it. It will free up all the resources and save your free tier account usage. Easy? Or if you want to immediately access it in few minutes, or if it is having some project related thing, you can just simply stop it and start again. Any question on these things?
Lok sir, I have a question. For example, this PL Jan 30 Linux U server, I'm going to delete now. Okay. For example, again, I'm going to create a new EC instance. So that new EC2 instance will have 750 hours, or how it is? It will be split between these two.
See, already you have created one resource, and for that
Yeah.
particular month, you must have started the instance, right? It's running now.
Okay.
Each and every minute is calculated there.
Even if it is terminated, also it is calculated.
It's not like that. Before termination, you are running this instance, right? At least for 30 minutes, you are running means the 30 minutes will be taken into consideration.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah.
And when you delete the instance, that is over. That story is over there. And when you create a new instance, for that new instance, what is your usage? It will not start from the very first minute. Already you consume 30 minutes for the particular month.
Okay.
Correct?
Yeah.
So that is how we
So,
just, consolidate the usage.
Okay. Got it. Got it.
so per month you will get 750 hours, no matter how many instance you will use.
Yeah. That's what I gave you this example, right? It is not just for one VM. If you are creating a number of VMs, that 70 hours will be divided. See, am I clear with this? Understood the purpose of public IP address and the private IP address now? All of you?
Yeah, Lok
Yes.
said whether private IP address is it gonna change or
No, private IP
will
will
it remain?
not change. Only the public IP will change, I told you. So now it is 13.201.100.160. When you stop and start this server, this will be different, but the private IP remains constant. Correct? Fine. So this is about your basic workflow for your launching instance. So go to your instance dashboard, select the list of resources that are up and running, and you can able to go through these parameters, public IP address, private IP address, and other stuff. And also you can see the key pair that is associated to your instance. Like if you use this option, you can see this is a key name which I have assigned to this instance. So point here is when you create a key pair, it will create a public key and private key, right? I told you it will be creating a public key and private key. This one. Out of that, the private key will be downloaded to your local machine in the form of PEM file. This PEM file, whatever gets downloaded, right? It is actually the private key. And the public key will be retained in the server level as authorized key. So during the connection establishment, you have to pass your private key. It will be compared with the existing public key and verify the authentication. I'll show you with the demo now. Don't worry. So any question related to launching the instance and understanding the properties of it? Any question? Hope you're all listening and you're following this, right? Every one of you?
Yes.
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 Even people who are finding it difficult to understand the terminologies and other stuff. Are you able to understand? All right. So now let's see how to connect to your instance. Okay. So in order to establish a connection to your EC2 instance, I told you we are going to use a SSH connection parameter. And these are 3 inputs required. And you can able to use any of these methods to connect. So first and default method we can consider as EC2 instance connect option. Okay. So it's very simple. Go to your console, select the instance which you want to connect. And on top right, you can see there is a connect button. Can you see this? This button will be
Yes.
enabled only if you select the instance. Here, it is disabled now. Just select the instance using checkbox and you can see this button is enabled. Just click on that button. It will take you to a page where you can able to see connect to instance, easy to instance connect option, this tab. So we are trying to connect to our easy to instance through this service, easy to instance connect service. It is going to use your instance ID internally, and here it is using the public IP address, and the username is Ubuntu. So if you want to enable the secure connection to your remote server, you'll be using your public IP address, and the username for Ubuntu machine is Ubuntu here. If it is Linux CentOS or EC2 instance, that is different. So for Ubuntu machine, it is Ubuntu. Okay. Now, the username should be is case sensitive and it is small case. Correct. So tomorrow while walking with your Amazon Linux machine, I'll show you what is the user ID assigned to that. Like that, we'll see all other parameters also depends upon the node. But now for Ubuntu machine, it is Ubuntu in small case. Because to access any machine, I need a user, right? It is the user is default user created already. So with these parameters, you can click on connect button. So when you're trying to access your EC2 instance through this instance connect option, you no need to manually provide your key pair and all because it is already available in their infra. So it will utilizes that parameter and it will establish the connection to your node. See, now the node is connected. This is my Windows machine. I connected to this machine as a Ubuntu user. Correct? So here I can able to run any Linux commands and start using my creating my Linux applications. Easy. Yeah, in real time also, it is a default username we use to connect. But as per your need, you can able to create your own users. I'll show you how to create that. Easy. So I repeat, if you want to use your EC2 instance connect option to access your node, where is it? The very first thing is from this console, select the instance and click on connect button. It will take you to a page where you can able to see the parameters required to connect. Using EC2 instance connect option, we're going to connect to this machine. Simple. So through web browser itself, you can able to access your server. But in real-time environment, this approach is not in use because as administrators, you know, accessing your remote server using a web browser, it is not a user-friendly option. Correct. We need one local tool to access it. It can be a terminal like a command prompt or it can be a RSS agent. Correct. So if you want to do more admin related activities and make it more interactive, we never rely on this browser. It is just for quick check we can do from this. So we never use this option frequently in a real-time environment. You see? So alternately, what you can do means you can either go with your SSH agent or terminal. So now I'll show you how to access your remote server using SSH agent. That is MobileXterm. So you always already have MobileXterm by any chance? In your previous batch, have you installed?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
sir. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And people who don't have, you can use this option to install now. I'll show you the instructions. So this is a page. Let me put this link in the class notes. So go to this link. I mean, I'm talking about the Windows users, okay? So just go to this link and click on this MobileXterm Home Edition, that is Installer Edition. If you click on this option, it will download one exe file. Just simply double click that file and run that file. Simple as that. It will install MobileXterm package in your Windows machine. Once it is installed, you can access it through your machine, local machine. See, this is the software. I already installed it. Easy. I repeat, go to this link and select this installer edition. You'll be getting the exe file. Just execute it. Okay. And then from your start menu, you can able to access MobileXterm and access the terminal. See, this is the user interface for MobileXterm. Okay. So once you launch or open this MobileXterm tool, you can see there is an option called the session menu, right? In this session menu, there is an option called new session. Click on that new session. It will open up a session settings tab. In this session settings dialog, choose an option called SSH because we are going to establish the SSH connection to the server. So just give SSH option. And here you need to pass the required parameters. So to connect to my remote server, what are the things I need? I need the public IP address as a host name. That is my remote host. And enables checkbox, enter the username as Ubuntu. You see? And next step is select this advanced SSH settings tab. Okay. And here you can find something called use private key checkbox. Enable this checkbox. You can get this browse button enabled. Click on that browse button. It will take you to your file system. Okay. It will take you to file system where your PIM files are available. Just go to the location and choose the PIM file which is associated to that instance. In your case, the PIM file will be available in the downloads folder because you just download, right? But usually what I do, I just route that file to a separate folder here like this. And choose the PIM file which is associated to your instance. For this instance, this is a file, key pair, May 20. So I can able to use that file for connection. So these are three parameters: remote host, your public IP address of the machine, Ubuntu, the default username, and the PIM file that is associated with the user, a private key. All these three parameters should be in sync. If there is any mismatch, your connection will be refused. Sometimes if a connection is refused, don't panic. Check all these three parameters. If it is valid, it should be fine. Any question here?
No.
Any question? Now,
Looks like
just
this mobile extreme is available for Mac OS or
I'm talking about the Windows users now, right? I'll talk about the terminals for Mac users and Linux users sometime.
Okay, thank you.
So use this session settings.
Hello.
Yep.
Sir, my question is simultaneously it's possible to run different interests.
Yes, it's possible.
Okay. Means simultaneously 2 or 3 connections.
Yeah, it is possible.
Okay.
It's possible. So if I select this, you can see it is connected to my Ubuntu machine, right? In the meantime, if I want, I can go back to my same session settings and SSH. I can able to have this parameter and connect to that node. It is not mandatory that always you should choose the same node. It can be another node also. You can able to work on more than one instance at the same time, right? Easy. Fine. This is through your MobiX term, which is meant for the Windows users as a user-friendly tool. And it is very having a lot of advantage also. Like why I consider MobiX term over Putty. Putty also another SSH tool. But compared to Putty, I find MobiX term is more user-friendly for my requirement. Even both are accepted in enterprise level. So if you can see the session setting itself, you can see using this MobiX term, you can able to connect to your remote servers. I'm able to perform some secure file transfer, perform RDP. I can able to execute some shell commands in remote server, browse the remote server file system. I can access S3 buckets. Everything is possible from here. It's having a lot of benefit. That's the reason we prefer this tool as a default one. Correct. Now, the third method of connection establishment is your terminal. So this is something used by the non-Windows users. Like if you're a Mac user or if you're a Linux user, or even Windows user. Okay. Let's say as a Windows user, I'm not interested to install any agent in my machine. I already have a command prompt or I already have a terminal, right? So I just want to use this terminal to connect to my remote server. Means it is possible. All right. So that is another advantage here. So all Mac users can open your terminal. Just from your Mac machine, you can access the terminal, right? Terminal window.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, just open your Mac terminal and locate to the path where you have downloaded your PIM file. So if you want to understand the steps to access, it's very simple. Select the instance from your EC2 instance dashboard and click on the connect button. And in this connect to instance page, there is something called SSH client tab. SSH client. So if you are trying to use your terminal, you can follow the steps that are given here. That means first to open your terminal and locate to the private key file. And from that path, ensure that the private key is accessible only by the owner of that key. Let's say if you log into your machine as an administrator, means only the admin should have access to this file. So change the access mode of that file first. Got it? Other users should not read it. And then run this command ssh -i pim file reference followed by the instance name, whatever generated. Just copy paste this command, it will get connected. Easy. Are you following this?
Yes,
So
yes.
all the users who are using a terminal to connect to your server, sorry. So users can able to get into this tab and understand this process. It's very straightforward. Just locate to the directory where you have a PIM file and execute the command chmod command to change the access mode, because the secret file is meant only for that user, owner of the key. Protect this and then run this command. Just copy paste this. It gets connected. See, So in real-time environment, both are used. Okay, mobile XTerm and PuTTY, both are allowed at enterprise level. Maybe people who are working, right, they might be familiar with PuTTY. PuTTY was something used for many years. You see, that's it. This is all about connecting to your EC2 instance. Any question? Any question here?
No, sir.
No, sir.
So hope you all able to make it by yourself, right? Independently, you can able to launch a node and connect now, right? Offline. Because only if this step is successful, you can able to practice your Linux commands. So next we'll see how to work with your Linux. This is the next topic in the list. Shall we?
One question.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes.
These are the three methods, right? So, according to the requirements, you use the methods.
It's not like that actually. Um, according to your process also. For example, consider I have a user who is not having access to AWS console. I have created one user, but that user is not having access to this console. So such users can access the instance only through terminal, right? They'll be provided with the server details and they can use a terminal or mobile term through SS agent. They can able to connect. So it is purely depends upon the process which you're following in real-time environment.
Okay. I
Right.
think MOBA XTerm and terminal, either of the two, everybody will having any one of them, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
That's right. If you're a Linux user, you
Hmm.
cannot use a mobile term or PuTTY there, right?
Yes,
You
yes.
have to rely on your terminal window. If you're a Mac user, you have to rely on the terminal window. So it's purely depends on the process actually.
Okay.
All good? Shall we move on to the next level?
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
All right. So now, in order to work with Linux, yesterday I given you the list of topics that are essential on DevOps perspective. As a DevOps resource, you'll be managing the package, managing the files, users, access, remote servers, and process automation. So first we'll see how to work with the package management. So package management means it's a process to manage any Linux packages. Package means any piece of software that you want to install and install. So what you're going to do as part of this package management, you can able to install, uninstall, or upgrade the packages. That's it. That's it. So the package, it can be a tool. So when we say package, software package, it can be executed as a tool or it can be executed as a service, right? There are two types of packages can be executed. If the package is executing as a tool means you can able to access the package directly. But if it is executing as a service, you have to enable the network and it should be running or through your web browser. Like that, you can able to handle it. Or it can be a background process or service also. It depends. Correct. For example, I have installed these many packages in my Windows machine. All these things are my desktop applications, right? If I want to access mobile XTerm, I can simply get into this option and access mobile XTerm here. It is a tool that is running in my machine. Apart from that, there'll be some services I have installed Jenkins in my Windows machine. I have installed Tomcat in my Windows machine. All these things are running as a service. All right. So if I show you the service catalog, task here, there are some process, right? Apart from that, if you go to the service catalog here, you can see these are all the services running in my machine, right? ActiveX installer, the Tomcat web application server, my Jenkins server, it is running in my Windows machine, right? It is not a tool. It is a service running my machine, but it was installed as a package. So whenever you install any package, you have to understand the properties of the package first. We are going to play an administration role here, not like a normal developers or the general users. So in this case, whenever you try to handle any package, first you need to understand the property of that package, what it is all about. What are the dependencies it is having? What are the prerequisites? What are the post-installation activities? Everything has to be done. Clear? I'll talk about that. Okay, once we start with the demo, I'll show you how to access it and all. Now, after identifying the type of packages, you have to fulfill the dependencies. So there is one step actually. If you want to install any package, right, first you have to install the prerequisites. You have to check whether the software is having any prerequisites or not. First, you have to install it. Then you can install the actual package. And then you can able to perform post installation activities. Got it? So these are 3 steps you should keep in mind before you install or handle any package. Our intention to install the package directly, you can't go and install it. You have to understand the prerequisite. You have to implement it first. Then only it can be implemented. For example, in my previous session, I was talking about some tools, right, to perform the build and all, like the continuous integration, continuous development and all. We were talking about various DevOps tools, right? Here you can see there is a build tool like Maven. There is a unit test tool called JUnit, Jenkins, Docker, Kubernetes. All these things are the tools that you want to install on the machine. If you want to install Git, right, directly you can install it. It is not having any prerequisites. But if you want to install Maven, Java is a prerequisite. So if you want to set up a build environment, like I want to set up my Java build server. So to do this, first I have to install JDK. And then I have to install Maven. That's it. Similarly, consider there is a testing team. They want a dedicated test environment. And in the test environment, to run their application, they want to set up the Tomcat server. So if you want to set up the Tomcat server, right? So for the Tomcat server also, JDK is a prerequisite. JDK means Java Development Kit. And then you need to install Tomcat. And upon installation of Tomcat, you have to start the Tomcat service. So this is the post installation activities. Just by installing Tomcat, it will not work. Okay, you have to start that service. Then only the users can able to access that. It has to be installed and the service has to be started. Like this, any package you handle, you have to consider whether it's a simple tool or a service. And you have to take care of all these 3 points. Then only your work will be considered as a completed work actually. Any question? It's all just a pre or mindset of the people. Okay, like it's a planning activity. Blindly, you can't go and handle the package, right? Make sense? How to install? No, that is secondary. First, let's understand the process. Are you able to understand the process here? Like what is expected from you people when it comes to installation?
Yes, yes.
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 All right. So now, how we are going to do this process? What are the steps we are going to implement? So as part of the package management, the first and foremost thing, especially on Linux machine, as I said already, it is a package manager, right? Package manager. So yesterday itself, we talked about the package manager. I just rephrase it now. So package managers are used to install, uninstall, upgrade the packages, right? On your Ubuntu machine or CentOS RHEL, depends upon the type of distribution, the package manager varies. Remember, right? Yesterday we talked about it. Yes, no? Here it is.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes, yes.
So depends upon the distribution of your Linux, the package manager varies. So in our case, we are using Ubuntu machine. So for Ubuntu machine, what is a package manager? It is apt, or you can use apt-get. Using the package manager, we can able to manage your packages. Easy. And another important thing is the packages can be executed only as a root user. See, the package, whatever we are going to package manager, what are going to execute, it will get executed only as a root user. You just log into the machine as a Ubuntu user here, right? But as a Ubuntu user, you cannot run any package manager module. It is not possible. See, while using your SS agent, the connection might be disconnected. Okay, if you are idle for some time, it might get disconnected. You can reconnect at any point of time. I'm just preparing a duplicate tab and I can able to handle it. Easy. So you have to elevate your access to root level by using the sudo command, sudo -i. This command is used to elevate the access to root. Right. Now, let's try this. I am on this Ubuntu machine. Hope it is visible, right, to all. All right. So now, from this page or from this terminal, if you want to execute in Linux command, this is a shell prompt actually, okay, or bash prompt we call it as. In this bash prompt, you can able to execute your commands, Linux bash commands. So I can say like clear. Clear is a command that's used to clean up your screen. Got it? It is to clean up the screen. And now I just access this machine as Ubuntu user. And whenever we're talking about the package manager, right, we can use the package manager like apt. Assume that I want to install a package or I want to update the package. There is a command called update -y. So it is always recommended to update the default packages that are provided by the service providers. Why? Because this Linux machine is not maintained by us. It is something we procured from the service provider and they are maintaining the platform as a service, right? So if they introduce any new features or new security features, if you want to keep your system up to date, you run this command, apt update command. -y means confirmation. Yes. See what happened? What it says? Permission denied. Why? Because we are trying to execute this package manager using Ubuntu user. So what should I do now? I should elevate my access to root level. So as a root user, if I want to run any commands, I can use this command sudo -i. Now from root user, it is elevated, sorry, from Ubuntu user, it is elevated to root level. Now, as a root user, I'm able to execute any package manager. You see, if I execute this command, it will identify all the default packages and it gets updated. You see? So if we are a general user or a developer, we never get the sudo or root access privilege. Only the administrators can able to use those root user privilege. So you can see there are 75 packages updated, and let me clear the screen. Now, this was the command I used, right? apt update. Instead of apt update, if I use yum, because yum is also package manager, right? Can I use yum package manager here?
No.
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 If you try this, see, yum not found. Because this Debian based or Ubuntu based machine, it is not recognizing that yum package manager. So the package managers are used to manage the packages, and this purely depends upon distribution of a machine. If you're using Amazon Linux, there is something called Amazon Linux, right? It's all AMI actually. Okay, if you use Amazon Linux AMI, you'll be using your DNF package manager. The latest version of Amazon Linux I'm saying. If you're using a previous version of Amazon Linux, you'll be using yum package manager, because as we discussed already, Amazon Linux was developed using Fedora distribution. Right. So this is what the process behind your package manager. Any question?
No.
So by
No.
this, you should know what is a package manager and how to use that package manager to execute in your Linux machine. We haven't installed any software at this point of time. We just updated the default package. That's it. And as a best practice, what are all the process involved, like installation of prerequisite, updating, and performing post installation activities, all those stuff. So what are all the commands we have used here? We have used clear. Clear is one of the commands, right? Bash command. And also we used apt update and sudo -i. This is to elevate your access, right? So now we'll see how to install any other software. Okay, like for example, if I want to install Git, Git is one of the version control system. If you want to install the Git CLI in your machine, you can use apt install Git. That's it. Similarly, if you want to install JDK, JDK means it is having its own version. Whether you want to install JDK 11 or JDK 17, it depends. So this is the command to install JDK. I assume that I want to install OpenJDK 11 or OpenJDK 17, anything for that matter. So apt install OpenJDK 11 followed by that option like -y you can give. Why? What is the purpose of this option means? Whenever you try to install any package, right? First, the package manager will locate that package and verify the size of the package and everything. And then it'll ask for the manual confirmation whether you want to proceed or not. If you say yes, then it will proceed. So if you want to automate the process, you can simply use -y here itself. Similarly, if you want to install Maven, apt install maven -y. Right. Like this, we have some service also, like apt install nginx. Nginx is one of the web application servers, as like Tomcat. This is to install nginx web application server. So this runs as a service. Service, not just a tool. Maven is a tool, but this runs as a service. So if you want, we can quickly verify this. And one important thing here is, in all your latest version of your Linux machines, Git is a default tool which is already available. Like for example, if I try to install Git here, apt install Git, see what it says? Git is already installed with the latest version, right? So any Linux machine, the latest version, latest AMI, Git is already part of that AMI. So no need to install it explicitly. If you want, you can try with other tools. Like if you want, you can check with your JDK 11. I'm not giving the confirmation now. apt install OpenJDK 11. If I run this command, see here, it is unable to locate the package. There is a package is not available. So let me choose the desired package here. Let me check the version of the package. It is OpenJDK 11 or 17 we can use as per the need. And it is, here is the command. OpenJDK 711 JRE. This is the version. Okay. So the package name is OpenJDK 11-JRE. If you want, you can remove this option now, and let's execute this. See, now this package is getting identified for installation, and it is expecting my confirmation here. Are you good to proceed? Just say yes. Enter. So this confirmation only we are giving upfront. All right. Any question? Yeah, it is installing now. Okay, it's done. So once it is done, you can say Java version to verify the version of the tool. Similarly, already Git was installed, right? You can check the version of Git which is installed in your machine. Right. So you can able to use your apt package manager to install any package from your machine. And upon installation, you can use Java version. This is to check the version. Easy. Any question on this? See, whenever you execute any command, right? Let's say I was using this command previously, like apt install OpenJDK 11. Right? When I use this command apt install OpenJDK 11, it was not successful. And the error clearly says that unable to locate the package. So what I did, I just extracted the actual package name and tried it again. It worked. So the point here is, whenever the things are not going as expected, don't panic. Try to read the error message. You will get the clarity. Because troubleshooting also is one of the major responsibility of a DevOps team, right? So it is not like we are trying to execute something. If it is not working, we are not going to complain anyone. It is completely our responsibility to fix that issue. So whenever you're getting any error while running any Linux command or any process in future, that console itself will provide you a complete details of that. If you patiently go through that error message, you will get the details, and accordingly you can able to proceed with that. Easy. And it is always recommended to use the official documentation to understand the package name, everything. Easy. Are we good with this, or any other question? Yes, is it boring or what? Or you want to have a quick break and come back? What happened? Yeah, why no responses?
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. If you want, just go quick, have a quick refreshment, come back. We'll continue. 5 minutes. Yeah, go ahead, please. But be refreshed, okay? Yeah, I'm available. Any, what's the question?
Let's say I have one question. So, what is the difference between update and upgrade?
There are two options here, right? In Linux. Hello, you're asking about Linux upgrade, right?
Yes, yes.
So it both are related to your packages only. Okay, like for example, if I just want to quickly update the packages or refresh the packages, uh, which is already available in your local repository, which was updated with some new changes. In the case, you can go with the update. But upgrade means it is completely altogether a new version you want to install. Got it? That is upgrade. Sometimes what happens, consider I have installed one package. Okay. And based upon the package, I made some configuration changes. I have just updated the properties of that package config file or properties files. So the new changes, whatever I made for the particular config file should get updated, right? With the package. So for that,
Yes.
what we do, we just do a update. Got it? So update will just update your latest configuration with your current version of your tool. But from version 1, if you want to upgrade it to version 2, in that case, you'll be using upgrade option. Hope you're clear?
Okay. It will work on a user level update.
No, not at the user level, right? As the root user only, you can able to do that.
Okay.
because it also requires your package manager, right? So as a root user only, you can able to perform your update or upgrade.
Okay.
All right. So shall we continue now? Okay.
Yes.
So the tools, whatever we have, I mean, the package, whatever we install, it's all a basic tool, right? So we have verified the version of the tool, everything. Similarly, if you want to install a package like apt install nginx -y. So nginx is a package, but it runs as a service. It is one of the web application server, as like Tomcat, HTTPD, Apache, right? So we use nginx as a service running on that particular machine. So now you can see we have installed it, and I can able to access it. Right? So you can see nginx version 1.24.0 has been installed. So how you can able to access this means, whenever we talk about a service, that service will be running in its own port number. Okay, that is called as a service port. So nginx runs in, or nginx service runs in the default port 80. If you're using Tomcat, means Tomcat runs in port 8080. If you're running Jenkins, means Jenkins runs in port 8080. Tomorrow you'll be running your monitoring tools like Prometheus, Grafana, your Kubernetes, right? And each and every service that has its own port number to execute it. So now the point is, we have installed nginx, and
Alexa, your screen is not sharing.
is that visible or not? What happened?
Yeah, it's visible.
It's visible.
We have installed nginx, and I was verifying the version of nginx, right? And this is 1.24.0. What I'm saying here is nginx runs as a service, and it runs in the default port 80. Similarly, for Tomcat, it is port 8080. Same way for Jenkins service, it uses port 8080. Like this, depends upon the service, you can able to understand the port numbers. All these things are available in the respective official documentation. I'll show you the documents also while we progress. But now the point is, when you run a package as a service, how it is getting executed, how to check the status of the service. So we can able to use can you see this? I use a command, systemctl status command. Systemctl status nginx. So if you want to check whether the service is up and running, you can use a command, systemctl status nginx. All these things comes under your package management. Just give Control C to come out of that command. And if you want to stop that service, you can say systemctl stop Nginx. The tool is installed, but the service has been stopped. Now, if I again check the status, you can see the service is stopped. It is inactive. Earlier it was running, but now it is inactive. So systemctl command line utility that is used to handle your services. So what are all things possible using the systemctl command means it can be used to start the service, stop, restart, enable, disable, all those things can be done with the help of that. And tomorrow while working on Jenkins, Tomcat and all, we'll be using this very frequently. So for example, these are the capabilities or features of those commands.
Looks
So
like one question for me.
using this systemctl command, we can check the status of that service. You can able to start, stop, enable or disable and restart. So when we'll go for restart means whenever you make any configuration changes, you can able to sync that configuration by restarting that service. And one more important thing is the service, whatever we have created, it is just manually getting started, right? But sometimes what happens, we have to make the service as a startup task. When I start my VM, automatically the service also should get started. Like for example, in my machine and all, there are a lot of services, right? You can see this service is automatic, it's running, and few services are manual, right? So how to enable the service and make it as a startup service? So I just made this Tomcat service as a manual start. I can manually go and start my service. If I say Jenkins, it is auto execution, right? So like this in Linux machine also, you can able to make any service as a startup service by using this enable command. Systemctl enable followed by the service name. Or if you want to disable it, you can say systemctl disable. Got it? So these are all the things that is required to handle your packages that are running as a service. Any question? Ask me now.
Looks like these commands which you are telling now, is this applicable in all SSH agents like putty?
These commands are not based on the SSH agents. It is based on the Linux. It is common for any distribution.
Okay.
Whether it is your Ubuntu or CentOS RHL, it is common. Only the package manager varies with the distribution, right? These commands are common for any distribution.
Okay.
Am I clear with this?
Yes.
Right. So now, if you want to upgrade the service, you can say apt upgrade nginx -y. Since we already installed the latest version, it will check for the update. If it is available, it just updates. Otherwise, it says no update required. Okay. So that is a command used to update it. Apt update, or you can use upgrade. Anything is fine to update to the latest version nginx -y. Similarly, if you
Is
want to
there any
uninstall,
difference between update and upgrade, or it is one and the same?
it's the same actually. If you are dealing with the same version update, you can use update, or if you want to upgrade to the latest version or any other higher version, you can use upgrade. Let's say currently you're running version 1.1 and you want to upgrade it to 1.2, means you can use upgrade option, right? And it will take care of all the dependencies, all the service level components, everything.
Sorry, I have a question here. So, for example, if I have multiple upgrades like version 1, 2, 3, 4, so
Mhm.
if I
You can
want to
specify the
upgrade,
version number. The tool comes with that version, right? Like Nginx 2.34 or
okay,
3.5. Like that, you can specify that version number there itself.
okay, okay.
Like how we used our JDK version here, right? Like this. So this is to upgrade. And another thing is you can use your apt remove command, nginx -y. So this is to uninstall. Got it? So in Linux environment, if you want to uninstall any package, we use a remove command, apt remove. Got it? So as part of your package management, you have to be clear about what is package management. What all the package managers we are going to use depends upon distribution. And as a root user only, we can able to run those package managers. And you should know how to elevate your access to root level. All right. If you want to continue your work as a root user, you can simply use sudo -i, and then after it will be considered as a root user. If you want to come out of this root user, simply say exit. See, the exit command logged out from root user and it went back to my Ubuntu user. Right. So this is one of the best practice we can see. Now, if you want to update the package or install the package, you can use the install command, verify the version. And if the package is of type service, you should know how to handle the service, whether to start, stop, restart, enable or disable all those stuff. All right. And then you should able to know how to uninstall any package. apt remove followed by the package name. It can be a JDK or Git or Maven, whatever it is. Easy. This is all about the package manager we'll be using on DevOps perspective. Any question? So if you don't have any question, then we'll move on to the next level, that is file management. How to manage your files. Files means it can be anything, a simple text file, or it can be your script file, it can be a program, or it can be a project, it can be your artifacts, binaries, right? Any file you create on your machine, Linux machine, how are you going to manage it? That matters. Shall we move on to this topic, or do you have any question on previous things?
No.
Yeah, you can continue.
All good? Fine. So in order to work on this file concepts or file management, first you need to understand the hierarchy of your files. So I hope you all aware of the term folders, right? What is a folder? I mean, in your Windows machine, you must be using folders, right? What is a folder?
Collection of files.
Folders are the, sorry, come again, what is it? I missed you.
Collection of files.
It can be considered as collection of files and folders, correct? Possible, no? We can have subfolders, right?
Yes, yes.
So in Linux environment, the same folders are called as a directories. We never use a term folders in Linux machine. It is considered as a directory. So when you say directory, it is a collection of files and subdirectories. That's what you need to consider here on Linux perspective. Got it? And it is denoted as dir. In short, we represent as a dir. Dir means directory. All right. And any user, I mean, any Linux user will have home directory for sure. Home directory means the default path of that user where they can able to maintain their files and folders and other components. It is common for any machine. Like even if I see my Windows machine itself, if I open any terminal, like if I use a terminal menu here, I can see it has opened the terminal. As a administrator, I open the terminal. So this is the default directory for my admin user. Correct? Any user will be having their own user folder, right? Similarly, in Linux also, any user will be having their home directory to maintain their files and folders. First point. And apart from this, you can able to create your own directories. You can create your own files. It is possible. For that, we'll be using some bash commands. Like what are all the bash commands we're going to use, how to manage it, how to navigate from one folder to another folder, how to get the list of files and folders. All those things we are going to discuss in this session now. So let me get into my dashboard here. Okay. So first, let me clear the screen and I'll elevate my access to root level. Okay. I don't want to execute anything as Ubuntu user for now. Let's use sudo -i. And as I said, any user, Linux user will be having their home directory, correct? So if you want to know the present working directory, you can use pwd command. So pwd command denotes the present working directory where your cursor is blinking now. If I exit from this root user, for this Ubuntu user level also, if I say pwd, I can see the home directory of this Ubuntu user. You see? This is about present working directory. Now, if I want to know, it means currently I am on this root folder of this root user. If I want to know the list of files present in this root directory, I can use ls command. See, there is only one folder present in this directory. So ls command is used to get the list of files and folders present in that working directory. But it will not show any hidden files. Sometimes we'll maintain some hidden files and folders, right? I hope in a Windows machine, you must be using some hidden folders, hidden files and all. So if you want to extract all the files, including hidden files and folders, you can use ls-a. See, this is my folder, which is available. And this -a means it is used to get the list of all the hidden files and folders. So how to differentiate a normal file and the hidden file means all the hidden files and folders will be prefixed with dot. Can you see this? The dot denotes it is a hidden file or it is a hidden folder. Easy? Any question? Now, apart from that, there is something called ll command. Ll means long listing. This long listing and listing, if you say ls means you can just get the files and folders name. But if you want to know the properties of that files and folders, you can use ll. Why? Because in this path, if I say ls-a, there are some components, bash history, bash rc, snap, .ssh, all those things are there. By looking into this particular component name, can able to figure out whether it is a file or a folder. In Windows machine, we save the file with some extension. So we can quickly understand by looking at the file name. But here, there is no such concepts. By looking into this name of this component, which is a folder, which is a file, how can you recognize? Can you able to figure out now by any chance?
No.
Huh?
No.
No, right? So for that, what you can do, you can use ll command. When I say ll, it is going to get me the long listing. L means long listing, and it is having some fields, right? And out of this, the very first character denotes whether it is a directory or a file. If it is a directory, the very first character will be having D as a entity. If not, you can find hyphen here. I'll talk about all these parameters in detail in the upcoming sessions. But as of now, if you want to quickly differentiate a component type, whether it's a file or folder, just give ll command and verify the list. Easy. Are you getting a point?
Yes.
So
Yes.
first we are trying to get the present working directory, and we can able to verify the listing here. PWT we use, right? Directory. So these are the commands which I use so far. PWD means present working directory. And at any time you can able to elevate your access to root level and exit from there. It's possible, or anything. And then ls command to get the list of files and directories. LL means it is for long listing. It will get more properties, as well as ls-a to get the list of all files and folders, including hidden files.
Loksai, can we use ls minus lrth
Lot of things are there we can use.
okay. So there
A
is
lot
no
of options
difference
available.
between these two, right?
Yeah, yes, it depends on distribution. I told you, right, over the period of
Okay,
time,
sir.
there a lot of evolution happened. So they just introduce new features and parameters,
Okay,
right?
okay.
Out of that, which is required for data to activity, just use it. That's all.
Okay, no problem. Thanks.
Correct. So now these are the basic things to list the entities which are already available. Now, how I can create my own folder? For that, there is a command called mkdir, make directory. Okay, and I want to name that as dir1. Okay, mkdir dir1. I want to create one directory called dir1. And now if I say ls, I should be able to see that directory created here. And if I say ll command, you can see this is a directory we have created and it is denoted with D. It means it's a directory. So mkdir is used to create the directory, right? Now, what I can do here is, if I want, I can able to create one more directory, mkdir directory 2. If you use up arrow, right, it will go to your previous commands. You can easily navigate to previous commands. Okay. Now, once a directory is created, how you can get into that directory? Because currently we are in the home directory of root user. I have created one directory called dir1. I want to get into the directory. For that, we can use cd command, cd followed by directory name. Cd means change directory. So from your home directory, we just navigated to directory 1. Now the present working directory is dir1. Similarly, if you want to come out of the folder or a directory, you can use cd space dot dot. It just take you back to the previous directory. Easy? Are you clear with this? So at any point of time, you can able to navigate, create your folder and navigate to that folder by using cd command. Navigation is done. And another important thing here is there are two things to be considered. One is the root directory, another thing is the home directory. In Linux environment, there is something called root directory and home directory. Okay. So you can see the tilde symbol, right? Here the tilde symbol, right? So whenever the cursor is pointing to the tilde symbol, it means you are at the home directory of that user. This is a home directory. But apart from that, there is something called root directory. Root directory means I'm not talking about the root user directory. It is a root directory for your Linux file system. So if I say cd/, this is the root directory. From here only, you can able to see a lot of system components. Like here you have home folder. If I navigate to that home directory, you can able to see the users, Ubuntu user directory there. Remember, this is the home directory for Ubuntu user. Where this Ubuntu directory is available means it is available in the home, which is in the root level. So whenever you want to navigate to your root directory, you can use cd slash. If you want to navigate to the home directory of that user, you can use cd tilt. Easy. So these are all some commands which we frequently use for navigation. Easy. Are you able to relate the things, able to understand things?
Yes, it's clear here.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So let me summarize all these commands. So we have used these things, right? Like, I hope you're all comfortable in this ls command, ll command, ls-a, clear, and mkdir means it is to create the directory. Mkdir followed by the directory name. Directory name, and it can be anything as per your project. And if you want to navigate to the directory, you can able to follow these things. First, you need to understand your current working directory. Use pwd. And then you can use your cd command to change the directory. It can be like a cd followed by directory name, cd slash or cd tilt. Cd tilt will take you to the home directory of that user. Slash will take you to the root directory of the file system. And apart from there is something called cd dot dot. It will just take the control back to the previous directory. Okay, that's it. Any question? Any question here?
No.
Yeah, no logs. Fine.
See, every day the content will be no more. We are going to have a lot of concepts we are going to prepare, and I need all your attention here so that you can able to easily understand, digest the things. If you're unable to follow anything, if you want to have a quick refreshment or a revision of your topic, just let me know, no problem. But don't blindly follow or sit without understanding anything. It's very difficult. Fine. So this is all about how to navigate to the user profile and create a directory and understand the properties of the directories. Right? That's it. So what next? We have created a directory, right? What next? Can we create a file within the directory?
Yes.
So in Linux environment, there are various methods to create the file. Okay. For example, let me show you one quick example. If you want, you can try this with the Ubuntu user, for example, like, or we can do it here. Is no problem. It's just dummy server, right? So I have a directory called dir1. What is the command to navigate to directory 1? cd dir1. Now I am on this directory 1. If I say ls, there is no files or folders present in this directory. So what I can do, I can simply use a command touch followed by the file name. Touch is a command used to create an empty file. And while creating a file, giving a file extension is optional. Depends on the file type you can give, or even without extension also, Linux will consider it as a file, no problem. All right, but as a best practice, have proper file extension not to maintain the data parsing. So now we have use a touch command. This touch command will just create a file. See here, file1.txt has been created. Once a file is created, what we usually do, we will try to open the file, right? In Linux environment, if you want, you can able to open the file in edit mode by using some editors, or you can able to quickly open a read mode. If you want to read the content of that file, all that you can do here is you can use a command, cat followed by the file name. Cat command means it is used to read the content of that file. As of now, the file is empty. That's why you can't find it. So that's the reason you cannot find any file content here. It's empty. You see? So like this, using a touch command, I'm able to create any number of files. Empty file. Right? It's possible. And using cat command, we can able to read the content of that file. Just reading. All right. Now, apart from that, there is something called echo command. So in Linux, echo command is considered as an output command. I mean, output statement, like how you use your print statement in your programming languages, right? So here echo is used to print some message to a terminal. So if I use echo followed by the message, means that message can be printed to the terminal. Like this, tomorrow, if you write any script and through the script, if you want to display any messages, you can use echo command. Right. But my requirement is instead of printing the message in my console, I want to save it to a file. So what I can do, I can use echo hello followed by the file name, like test file 1.txt. So what is going to means, it will first check for the file. If the file is not present, it will create a new file and add the content here. So the test file has been created. Now, if you read the content of the file, cat command, you can see one content is available there. You see? So either you can use the existing file or the new file. Like if I say echo hello, followed by that file 1.txt, which was already created by using touch command, right? You can able to see the content. So this is the second method to create a file. First method is using touch command and second method is using echo command. So both these things are not interactive. Through some ad hoc CLI commands, we are creating the file. But most of the cases, what we do in real-time environment, you'll be opening the file like this. Like as I open the notepad here, as I open the editor here, we have to open the file and write some programs or scripts. For that, we have to use an editor. So Linux supports an editor called VI editor. VI followed by the file name. Okay, VI followed by the file name. When I say VI followed by the file name, it will open the file in VI editor. See, it is a new file. And once you open the file in VI editor, if you want to key in the content or record, first you should go to insert mode. So press I from your keyboard and it goes to the insert mode now. And now you can able to key in any content, any record you can able to type as like you maintain your file content. Once a file content is ready, if you want to save your file and exit from the file, what you can do means you press escape key. Escape means it just go out of the insert mode and then type colon WQ. Escape colon WQ. WQ means write and quit. I want to write this content and quit the file. It is just like save and exit. Now if I say cat followed by the file name, I can see the content of the file. I repeat, if you want to use your VI editor, use VI followed by the file name. Right? The file has been opened. If you want to key in any record, what you should do? You should go to insert mode. To go to insert mode, press I from your keyboard. Now you can able to make any changes here. You can able to update the existing record or delete the record, whatever you can do it. Right. And once your changes are ready, if you want to save and exit, what is the command? Escape :WQ. This will save and exit. Or if you think that you don't want to save and exit, you can simply say escape :Q exclamation quit. Q followed by the exclamation symbol will exit from the file without saving the new changes. That's it. So now if you use cat command, you can see the latest changes are not updated there. Easy. So this is how we prepare our file while working in your Linux. So a lot of things are there. Step by step, we'll cover everything in detail. So as part of this, let's have a quick summary. Listen carefully. So you can see we have created a file using touch command followed by the file name. This is one scenario. Or you can use the echo command with the file name. That is another scenario, right? We are used. And another thing is, if you want to read the content of the file, you can use cat command. And if you want to open the file using editor, we can use vi followed by the file name. For example, vi followed by the file name. And if you say, if you want to insert a record, press I, it will take you to the insert mode. Right? Hope you are following, no, guys?
Yes,
Yes, yes.
Yes.
So vi editor, we're just creating a file. Press I to go to insert mode. You can edit your file content. And if you want to save and exit, just press WQ, escape :WQ. Or if you don't want to save the file, just simply say escape :Q exclamation. Simple as that. Easy. So these are all the options we can have to prepare your file content. Right. No, there is nothing called undo action. It is not like a Windows, right? So here you have to be very cautious while handling the content. And working with Linux is very interesting. Okay. People who are habituated to Windows machines, right? They find with Linux is something based upon command lines. It's not that easy to work. It's felt boring. Even when I was starting this thing, right, I felt very boring to learn Linux, to be honest. But later point of time, once we start using it, right, now I feel very much comfortable in Linux when compared to Windows. If you understand, if you are handling Linux as an administrator, you find Windows are nothing actually. Okay, so I am very much comfortable. All my enterprise level servers, I strongly recommend Linux machines, and I perform all sort of management there. Handling Linux server is very easy when compared to Windows. Right, but initial things, it's not like a difficult one. Must be strange for you people, right? Just think on that perspective. Don't think it is a difficult one. It's something new we are learning, and over the period of time, it will be easy for you to understand and implement. That's it. That's the logic. Maybe today you find all these terms different and new to you. You might find it's very difficult to remember. But once you start practicing, right, it will be easy for you to understand the process and you'll be getting complete control of it. That is what the progress you should show from your end. Easy. So I'll stop with this for now. In today's session, we were discussing about the what do you call that, Linux machine creation as well as connection establishment. And also we talked about the package management, and we are in the file management now. As part of file management, we have created some directories and files able to save and navigate. This file management will continue tomorrow also because we have a few more things to discuss in file management. And then we'll get into the next level. All right. So if you have any question, please let me know. Are we good for today's session or any issues?
Loxai, I have created a EC2 instance right now. So, I mean, if I stop it, that's fine, right? Or
Yeah,
should
you can
we?
stop it. Just simply go ahead and stop it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Looks like,
So
can you upload this document on your
yeah,
GitHub
it will be available.
repository?
I'll be updating all these things end of the session, right?
Okay, yeah,
Be
thanks.
available. Don't worry. So if you want, I can do it right away. Paper mill. What is it? Paper, paper. Paper live. Okay. So this is a repository, right, which we have created. So here I'll do one thing. I'll just update all these things in your what is it called? Linux folder itself. Edit. These are the contents for today's session. So please, practice on daily basis. Don't postpone anything, because if you leave this today, tomorrow it will be adding more content, right? So it just keep on accumulating. So better practice all the concepts on the same day, so that it'll be easy for you to manage the things. You are okay with this, or you want to have some commands also? Like what are the commands we execute so far? So there is a Linux command called history command. This history command will get you the list of all the commands which you executed on this machine. If you want, I can share this also with you, but
Yes, please.
utilize it as per your need.
Yes, please.
It's all a complete history of commands which you executed so far. All right. So with this, can you able to manage today's session? And tomorrow before you join, try to practice as much as possible.
Okay, looks like.
All right. Any issues?
No.
All right. So I just open the poll here. Try to respond to that. And yeah. Hope things are clear to everyone, no?
Yes, Loxai. Everything is fine.
Thank you, looks like.
Yeah, sure. And people, if you're saying it's too fast or if it is not clear, I need a justification. Okay, just let me know why it is not clear, where it is not clear.
Hello.
Yep.
So when you explain in the commands, it's my first time. That's why I think it's so fast for me.
That is what the point is. Like, it is not like thing. This is how the flow will be, right?
Okay.
So if focus on it, maybe first time while listening to anything, it will be like that only. But if you practice, you will get the progress, right?
Okay, sir. I try my best.
So point is that we are in the race now. Okay, you have to get into that field and you have to focus and you should be able to get the things done. If you're unable to understand, you can ask me anytime. I can repeat the whole concept again. That doesn't matter for me.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Right? But things are clear, right? You are unable to understand, no?
Yeah.
That is the point. So to keep yourself up to date, practice it.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
And if you are finding it difficult, right? You can practice more than once.
Okay.
Got it? Because
Okay,
end
sir.
of the day, you have to take control of it, right? So at least practice more than once. You should be
Sir.
fine.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys. So I'm stopping for now. Tomorrow we'll continue with the remaining topics and ensure that you stop the instance. The instance, whatever you created, ensure that you stop the instance so that it won't give you some surprises on your building. Let me stop this. Select the instance, go to instance state and stop it. That's it for now. Thank you all. We'll connect tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you.